Hey guys, it's Matt from Wani here, and I'm joined by Dani Filth from Devilment and Cradle Of Filth, of course. How's it going, Matt?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yep.
Obviously, this is your last show of the tour.
That's correct. Yes.
How's it been?
It's been amazing. Yeah. It's certainly been an eye opener. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last week, we're in a bit of a Christmassy mood at the moment. Obviously, downstairs you just interrupted She Must Burn set and threw a bit of tinsel at everyone.
Well, a little bit, yeah. But, played last Christmas, danced a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's Christmas normally like in the Filth household?
Good, yeah. We usually sacrifice the Virgin, put about 8:30 in the morning, put her in the oven.
Yeah.
Slow temperature. They usually go around with parents, to be fair. My sister's coming back, has come back from Singapore, although my brother has buggered off to Belize, give or take. And just have the usual Christmas day, and then followed by a mad piss up, really.
Awesome. And sacrificing a couple of virgins with the family, of course.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't go that far with my wife, she's actually not a virgin anymore.
Obviously, you're out here promoting the new album, the Mephisto Waltzes.
Yeah.
It's based on the German legend of Faust, is that right?
Well, no. Well, the title was taken from that, but it's actually it just seemed apt for the collection of songs that were put on the record. That it almost becomes like a grimoire. Also, Devilment 2 because of My Love of Danzig, Danzig 1, Danzig 2, Danzig 3, etc. He also did a song with the Misfits called Mephisto Waltzes. That was based on an occult horror film during the occult film boom of the 70s.
Oh yeah.
That had things like amateur horror, The Exorcist, Race with the Devil, and that was called Mephisto Waltz. And that concerned itself. That film itself was then based on the Liszt piano pieces, because it concerns the main protagonist of the film is a pianist who sells his soul to the devil. So yeah.
And obviously you're a massive horror film junkie yourself.
Oh yeah, massive.
Well.
Yeah.
Why do you think there is such a cult following for horror movies in particular? Why do you think so many people are drawn to them so much?
Because people like being scared.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the basis of it. Gothic horror became huge as a literature form in late 18th century and then blossomed in 19th century. Most of the most famous authors, Jane Eyre. I'm not talking about Jane Eyre, Charlotte Bronte. No, I'm even talking about there. Sorry, my mind's a bit goolally at the moment.
That's fine.
Stoker, M.R. Janes, H.R. Haggard Rider, Rider Haggard, sorry. E.F. Benson. All the Victorians were obsessed with mysticism and piercing the veil, spiritualism, seances, penny dreadfuls, etc., like that. And the whole thing, it was sensationalist for them. And since then, obviously, it's grown a lot bigger. Film was introduced, and the first things they remade were obviously all the popular novels like Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Frankenstein, Casting of the Runes, etc. So yeah, it's a relatively new media, but yeah, it's just really blossomed. Although of late there haven't really been that many great horror movies because unfortunately it's blossomed to the extent that the movie business will only fund them if they reach the right people.
Yeah.
So if they're obviously 18 unrated, as apparently New Alien is supposed to be, which is good, but there's a franchise that's already been built up over a period of time, so they can get away with it. But if you introduce a new horror character, chances are it's going to be pretty shitty.
Yeah.
So was Alien vs Predator, to be fair, because again both studios wanted something that was a 13 rated thing, so they can introduce toys and get bums on seats in cinemas, but horror movie buffs don't really want that.
And one thing I've been told about this tour is you've renamed Under the Thunder as Under the Chunder. Can I ask why?
Well, you can. Our new guitarist, Nick, we went out in Stoke the day before. Well, actually, it's really got nothing to do with that. Actually, it might be part and parcel, but we all got the norovirus, sorry. And he was the second one to get it, and he just puked everywhere on stage. I mean, it was spectacular. And obviously it was ridiculed immediately. And so we just renamed it that. But everybody got it after that. So we had... It's only like a 24-hour virus, but I think the majority of people have lived through that on this tour. So I did in Glasgow. It was fucking awful. Literally awful. Really small, dingy venue. And no toilet backstage. Only toilet facility in the public, and obviously with a bum that was gushing. It wasn't a pretty sight. And literally just about before we go on, I went, fuck that, and just ran for everybody, went straight into the ladies' loos, because I knew at least there'd be some loo roll.
Yeah,
pretty grim.
I've also been told as well you have an obsession with hoovering, is that right?
Who told you that?
That was your PR, Claire. You can thank her for that.
Oh, thanks, Claire. Not an obsession, I just love hoovering, yeah.
Okay. What is it about? Because I normally go out of my way to avoid hoovering.
Well, then you're a weirdo!
Thank you.
You obviously don't have the air ram.
No, I don't.
No, exactly. If you had one, you'd know what I was talking about. I just find it quite soothing.
Fair enough. I want to talk to you a little bit, obviously we don't have much time today, so I might have to wrap it up in a second, but a little bit before we go about the new Cradle of Filth album as well, and just your progress on that. How far are you with the record?
Well, basically, today the drums have been all laid down, Martin's been and gone. I visited him shortly before I came out on this tour, and today the guitar started with Richard Shaw went in. He goes up until Thursday and then comes back after the new year. Then it's Ashok, then it's Daniel bass, and then I'll be going in beginning of February. So yeah, that's great. I mean, it's a great record, or it will be hopefully. Touch wood, but all the songs are written. I've just got a couple of songs to finish writing lyrics for, but then I did have other things on my plate, namely this. Rehearsing for this and all the press that surrounded its initial press campaign.
One last question before we wrap up. When you first joined Devilment, was it quite difficult for it to not be sort of that band?
Have you seen the new Star Wars movie?
I'm not Rogue One, no, I'm seeing it on Thursday.
It's fucking amazing.
I know, I really want to watch it.
We had a day off on Saturday, and three of us, myself, the tour manager, which is actually Lecter, our tour manager, who used to be the keyboardist for Cradle.
Oh yeah.
And guitarist Colin, all three of us went to the same cinema at different times to watch it on the day off, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it pisses all over The Force Awakens. It's got a little bit of comedy element, but it's so dry. But it's just a devastatingly brutal and sad film, and very brutal. And it just joins everything, all the threads that surround, the beginning of A New Hope up perfectly. You still see characters. You get Grand Moff Tarkin's there. They've animated, CGI'd Peter Cushing. We see Leia. Sorry, I'm giving it away.
No, that's absolutely fine, man. I'd rather talk about Star Wars, to be honest.
Yeah. When you see some of the villains as well, you see the droids.
Yeah.
And it just ties up perfectly, as it should do, because obviously it's the origins of the whole. I was going to say trilogy. Well, I'll say trilogy because I actually put the other three films completely out of my mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, your question was...
Devilment, when you first joined a few years ago, were you scared that it would just... You didn't want it to be like a band that Dani Filth was in?
Yeah, no, exactly. I think the second album, and I think it's important calling it Devilment 2 as well, as it's a statement to say, look, this isn't a vanity project anymore, this is the actual band.
Yeah.
Okay, the tour isn't massive, but I knew when we came out to do this, we had to do the groundwork as we did with Cradle. When Cradle and Emperor played, for example, we played in Edinburgh to 4 people. And both bands, enormous now within the scene. And I just knew that, we could have jumped on, a much bigger tour like we did last time with Motionless in White and Lacuna Coil, and no doubt we will probably do in the 4-month window we've got next year. as well as doing festivals and whatever. But we need to do the groundwork as a band, and if you don't start headlining, even if it's only 70, 80 people a night, you know, and we've been doing 100 to 200 a night most nights, but a couple of nights it's gone down a little bit. Unless you do that and put the groundwork in, you will always be a support act.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We can wrap it up. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Dani Filth from Devilment, everyone.